This is the Louie Tee Network.
In the lab room. 5 minutes or less.
Oakland Raiders. Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on this program, 5 Minute or Less series, 2014 schedule release of the Oakland Raiders. Let's do it. So, primetime matchups, I always start there. And when you're the Oakland Raiders and you've fallen on hard times and you're a 4-12, 5-11, 6-10 team consistently, you don't get primetime games. But you're guaranteed one. That's a Thursday nighter, week 12, home for Kansas City. Make it count. That's the only one you're getting. Make it count. So we move on to divisional games for the Raiders. And this is where you got to start making some noise. If you want respect around the league, if you want respect within your own division, you got to start standing up against teams that are better than you and showing them that this isn't a one-sided deal. This isn't a walk in the park. You're not just going to disrespect me because I'm not as good as you. You've got to show them that no matter what the record says, I can still beat you on any given Sunday. That hasn't been the case of late. Let's look at this slate. Denver. They are the alpha male in this division. You want to make a statement, jump up and bite the Denver Broncos. You got them at home in week number 10. Show them what you got. Week 10, Denver Broncos coming in your place. Week 17, you're on the road. Unfortunately, that could be a playoff game or in a game with some implications down the stretch for you. If so, it sucks that you got to go on the road to Denver. If they're not playing for anything and they've packed it in already, maybe that's to your benefit. But if they got something to play for, that's going to be tough for you to go into Mile High and get it done in week 17. We shall see. Kansas City, here's another team. Played extremely well last year. They swept you in this division. You got to find a way to win games within the division against tough football teams. Week 12, they're coming to your house. Make it count. I talked about that being a primetime game. Your only one. Stand up to the occasion. Get you a W. Week 15, you got to go to Arrowhead. That's not a really good place for you. But you've had some success there over the years, and so it wouldn't shock me if you went in there and shook some things up and got a win in Kansas City. But again, if they're playing good football, can you go to Arrowhead and get a win? I don't know the answer to that. You move on to San Diego, week number 6. You're at home. Last year, you were able to beat this San Diego Chargers team on primetime at home. You need to continue to beat these guys. You got to get wins within the division. If you can get a win against San Diego, that would definitely boost your ego and give you some fight within this division. You look at week number 11, you're at San Diego. You weren't able to get it done. You were close last year, but close doesn't count. You don't get a juice box and you don't get a bag of chips and you don't get a gold medal for almost winning in this league. You got to get it done, and you weren't able to do that last year. Here's another opportunity, week number 11 at San Diego, to try to get a win within this division. You move on to anomalies, and this Oakland Raiders schedule is pretty clean. When you take a look at it, and I'm not talking about from the standpoint of teams that they play when they play them. You know, I don't like to look at that right now unless it's divisional games or huge games that are primetime or something of that nature. I'm talking about from a perspective of, 4 out of 5 on the road, 3 out of 4 on the road, 3 straight on the road. There's none of that here. You don't even have a 3 out of 4 stretch at home. You don't even have a 3 straight stretch at home. There's no anomaly on this schedule. So it's a pretty clean slate for the Oakland Raiders. The only anomaly that you do have is that you lose a home game to London in week 4 versus the Miami Dolphins. But hey, you don't sell out anyway. That's why they moved you over there to that London game and didn't feel bad about it. So, hey, it is what it is. You just keep moving forward. Speaking of which, week 5 bye. You go to London in week 4. The league makes it mandatory that the very next week, because of the travel and the time difference, that you have a bye week the next week after playing in London. So you're basically stuck with the week 5 bye. I don't like it. You don't like it, but there's nothing you can do about it. You don't cry over spilt milk. You just clean it up. and you move forward, take your week 5 bye, and hopefully you can come back a better football team after that bye. So you move to your mark your calendar games, and week 12 is your only primetime game against Kansas City. Like I said earlier, make it count. Your only time to show the rest of the nation what you're doing out there in Oakland, how your revamped roster is a better football team. That's your chance. Make it count. And week 14 versus San Francisco, look, that's your distant cousin out in the Bay Area. All I'm asking from this game is that no one be stabbed, no one be shot, no one be beat to death or put in a coma. You guys play nice out there, okay? And I'm not necessarily talking about the teams. I'm talking about the fans here. You guys are pretty vicious out there. Be nice to one another. Yeah, the 49ers got a new stadium and they didn't invite you. It doesn't matter. Be nice. Let's not have anybody be stabbed in week number 14, okay? Okay, I'm asking nicely here. Play nice, guys. I mean it. Play nice. So, let me get a little timeout. Let me get a timeout.
The Oakland Raiders. There's some good news and some bad news. Good news is you don't have a lot of anomalies on your schedule. The bad news is you got a brutal stretch within the division late. 5 out of your 6 divisional games come after week number 9. You know what we call that? We call that a backloaded schedule. So what that means is that in an 8-week stretch, you have 5 divisional games. And within that 8-week stretch of 5 divisional games, there's a 3-week stretch where you play a divisional opponent each and every single week. Weeks 10 through 12, you play Denver in week 10 at home. Then you go to San Diego for week 11. Then you come back home week 12 for Kansas City. Now, you wrap up the season at Kansas City week 15 and at Denver week 17. So in the final 8 weeks of the season, you've got 5 divisional games. Aren't you tired of being the doormats of the AFC West? Aren't you tired of missing the postseason? Aren't you tired of being a running joke around the league? Respect isn't given, it is earned. Here's an opportunity right here for you to earn your stripes, to earn some respect. 5 divisional games in the final 8 weeks of the season. Take care of business, and you could find yourself in the postseason in 2014. Time in.
And that's the Oakland Raiders in 5 minutes or less.
While you're here, go ahead and sub up.
In the lab room.